Hello from Minsk. This is a podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about practice and let's start with the definition.
Practice is something what you do for several times to get better. For example, you could practice to shoot from the bow, to be archer. You could practice to make your double side egg to be a chef, or maybe you practice to solve integrals to be a mathematician. And it's very important for troubleshooters. Several times I was unable to solve some kind of puzzles or some kind of equations, and I found that if I would solve just 1000 for 2 weeks, then I would be free for whole life, and it's make me happy. For example, when I was on the second course and I couldn't solve so-called triple integrals, it's okay,
Triple
triple
integral.
integrals. I bought 2 books and I solved 1000, and even my teacher on the math, she wouldn't believe, and she asked me, okay, you telling me that you solved this integral by yourself? And I told her, not just this, I solved 3 whole copybooks for 3 different high institution. It's okay to say высшее учебное заведение, high institution. High institution. And then she just took my copybooks and said, okay, now you are free, you could not attend my lectures. And the same would be, for example, with the HIIT. When you're trying to learn karate or some other martial art, you will find that before you hit the ball, I don't know how to say, ball, груша.
Could be said, yeah, hit the ball or punch back.
Yes, correct. Thank you. Punch back. If you will hit punch back like 1 or 2,000 times, then your hand would hit a person without any hesitation. But if you're a cultural man and you think, okay, now I just watch movie with Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee, and when I will go to the street, I would be able to repeat their movements. It wouldn't work. Yes, you could be fast, but you will be afraid to hit someone.
Well, it definitely reminds me one of your phrases, like the moment you face the, like issue or truth, you actually not going up to the level of, like your thoughtfulness, but you go down to the level of your practice. And when we're actually trying to practice new thing, whether it's with a coach or a teacher or anyone else, I do believe it also goes like in a different iterations. So it might be like number of repetition, but there's probably could be something for like adjusting technique, or maybe like thinking about like how exactly you did this, or maybe also like observation part, like the moment you get the grip of the basis, it's also called like get the ropes, you also can kind of think like what else could be modified. So how to look into the practice process to make sure that at least like you will go straight forward and will get more or less achievable results.
Sometimes you will be practiced by yourself and you will think that everything is going well, but when you will show your art to someone who is more experienced, this person would laugh and say, come on, you're doing everything wrong. The same, for example, with English. For a very long period of time, I'm able to speak English, and I was never sorry about my pronunciation, but each time after our recording, you will give me several lessons, and sometimes I suddenly realize that I never was thinking about the meaning of the word. I was just using it like a parrot. So is there any chance to know, for example, English without a coach, without a teacher? I think it's no way, because you will just make mistake by yourself. In the Russian YouTube, there are several so-called, I don't know how to say, copycats who do martial arts in a very strange way, and they are very often heroes of the memes, because they are making a very strange movement while they trying to hit someone or hit punch back or hit the air, and it's it's not just fun, it's almost pity for them. They spend so many time to develop their own martial art, but if they will go on the streets, they will be beaten. The same would be with you. A lot of people think, okay, I could cook for myself, I could cook for my family, and I will open a restaurant and cafe. And then suddenly they realize that no one wants to eat what they makes. You know, it was with my neighbors, a family. I was living in Kiev, and suddenly one neighbor approached me and say, "Come on, I know you're working in the bank. Can you please give us a loan, small loan? We'll open a cafe." And very close to our home, they opened the cafe and they start to feed people. And I also was invited, but it was just one time and just one spoon. Everything was so terrible, and they were closed in 3 weeks. But when he was applying for a loan, he was saying, "My wife is a best cooking ever person I met."
Well, yeah, I guess the guy also need to convince maybe a couple of thousand people in the same opinion. And when we're actually looking into the thing of what to practice, because at certain point of time, let's say we want to, dive deep into Excel, or we want to get like a black belt in a karate. But I do believe sometimes it's also could be some sort of like an exploration practice. For example, we just want to try to drive the car, maybe in not so good condition, or maybe we want to get a gun, or maybe we just want to play golf, or maybe we just want to build some sort of like a beam model out of nowhere. So whether this practice like in exploratory mode still makes sense, or we still need to invest a certain amount of time to get more or less good results.
My lovely example, when I sit all together with Nikolai Murashov, and he works in Photoshop. I know Photoshop like 100 different features, but my colleague, he knows like maybe 1,000. And sometimes he uses a very strange tool just to impress me. And sometimes he will show me several ways how to do something, and then he shows what the difference between them in a result, in speed, and in approach. And suddenly I started to realize that much better not to go to some courses or to read book, but better to sit with a person who is master of something. If you will, for example, start to write macros in Excel by your own, it would take you like 2 years, and you will be not able to do something which is useful at a job. But if you will sit with your colleague who do macros every day, and you will tell to him very strict situation, you will get macros like in 10 minutes, and then you could redevelop it and reuse it and improve. The same would be, for example, in surgery. In our dentistry, we have like 5 right now surgeons, and they quite different. And sometimes I learn something from one, and I will tell to something to another. They do not like each other, and they do not talk, because they have like very hard competition. They fight for the patient. It's okay to say patient.
Yes, patient.
Patient. So they would not listen by themselves. But if I am not a surgeon, will tell, and they will say, "Oh, come on, I will try." And it's very funny. Why not to learn from the best?
Well, yeah, sometimes, sharing the practice, or, like a specific mechanics for the practice is also could be a practice itself. And then my last question will be how knowing about this skill could help to make this world a better place.
A lot of people, they could just talk. There is a saying in Russian language, I don't know how to say it in English, but something, it is much easier to talk than to carry the bags. And people quite often just able to talk. And when you have difficult situation with your health, with your, I don't know, flat, with your plant, with your business, you'll come to them and they will say, "Okay, I could give you a consultancy for, I don't know, like for 30 or 60 minutes." And sometimes you'll say, "Oh, come on, I don't need kaltasa. Could you please come with me and take the shuffle?" Shuffle is lapata. It's okay?
Shuffle, yes.
Take the shuffle or something else like working tool, and do it instead of me and with me. And not many people will agree. For example, when it was a raiders attack on dentistry, which owns by my wife, we were trying to ask some people who call themselves like cool negotiators or mediators and so on, and I was offering them quite a huge sum of money, but not one came, and everyone was saying, "Okay, we're just about how to learn, but not how to deal."
Well, and we reviewed the skill of practice and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.